The Indian Navy had a plan to be a 200 ship strong force by 2027. However, in 2019, the Navy reworked its aim because of acute financial crunch over several years and brought down its ambitious figure from 200 to a mere 170. Contrast this to the Chinese Navy. Over the past 2 decades, the People's Liberation Army Navy, that is a plan, has grown from being a modest coastal force into a regional juggernaut, with frigates, destroyers, submarines, and aircraft carriers being constructed and commissioned at the record speed. In 2022, the plan operated a battle force fleet of 351 ships, surpassing the US Navy's 294. Now, before I go further, I actually want to make an appeal to you. As I speak to you, multiple colleagues of mine are traveling across the country to get you stories that matter, to get you stories from the ground rather than sitting in this AC office. All of this comes at a cost, and hence I request you to follow the instructions that you see on your screen and subscribe to The Print and become a part of the Print's family. Please do follow. Now, according to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, that is the CSIS, China has already overtaken the US Navy in terms of hull count and is rapidly closing the gap in fleet tonnage and key technologies like the Vertical Launch System (VLS) missile cells. Since 2010, China has dramatically reduced the tonnage gap with the US from a roughly 4 million tons to under 1.6 million tons. By 2024, China's surface combatants deployed half the VLS cells of the US counterparts, up from just a quarter in 2019. This stark growth is compounded by the fact that China's naval forces are primarily concentrated in the Indo-Pacific, whereas US forces are globally dispersed. Having produced less than 5% of the world's tonnage in 2000, Chinese shipyards today account for more than half of the total commercial production. Formerly dominant, Japanese and South Korean shipbuilders have experienced declining production since 2011 as shippers from around the world place more orders with the Chinese yards to upgrade their fleets. The US Trade Representative had, in a report in January this year, said that the US today ranks 19th in the world in commercial shipbuilding and that the US builds less than 5 ships each year, while the PRC, that is the People's Republic of China, is building more than 1,700 ships. In 1975, the United States ranked number 1 and they were building more than 70 ships a year. The US Trade Representative Catherine Tai had launched the probe in April 2024 at the request of the United Steelworkers and 4 other US unions under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, which allows the US to penalize foreign countries that engage in acts that are unjustifiable or unreasonable or burden US commerce. The Trump administration is trying to push back with a new decree that could make world's largest ocean freight companies coughing up fines of up to USD 1.5 million for Chinese-made container ships that call on US ports. RAND Corporation had in August 2024 report said that from 2000 to 2023, PRC shipbuilders won contracts for 21,600 vessels with a total weight of 270.4 million compensated gross tons. This work was won across 917 different shipyards and produced 132 unique types of ships. Completions rose steadily through the early 2000s from 266 in 2003 to a peak of 1,797 ships built in 2011. While completions dipped after 2011, reaching a recent low of 741 in 2020, average compensated gross tonnage has increased from 8,749 in 2003 to 17,095 in 2023. RAND report added that the naval shipbuilding, on the other hand, experienced its lowest production rates from 2003 to 2009, having 250,000 active tonnage under construction during those years. That number doubled in 2010, reaching a peak in 2014 of over 800,000 active tons. At the heart of China's success is the China State Shipbuilding Corporation, the CSSC, the world's largest shipbuilding group, which built more commercial vessels by tonnage in 2024 than the entire US shipbuilding industry has since World War II. Operating under the firm grip of Chinese political leadership, the CSSC plays a pivotal role in China's military-civil fusion strategy, which seeks to integrate China's commercial and defense sectors. This strategy enables China to leverage commercial revenues to subsidize military shipbuilding, allowing for the rapid expansion of plan at lower cost. The report also notes that foreign buyers are responsible for the vast majority of shipbuilding production across China's industry, but especially at Tier 1 and Tier 2 yards. Over 75% of CSSC's production serves international clients, including US allies like Japan, Greece, Denmark, and besides, surprisingly, Taiwan. This global trade indirectly supports China's naval modernization. CSIS says that by purchasing vessels from these yards, foreign firms have funneled billions of dollars of revenue into entities that are central to China's naval modernization. Given the substantial overlap in material inputs, production techniques, personnel and infrastructure required for both commercial and military shipbuilding, commercial revenues effectively subsidize China's naval expansion. By offsetting fixed costs, these earnings enable Chinese shipyards to scale military production more efficiently and at lower marginal expense. Even when military and commercial production is not co-located, the shared ownership structures between many of the leading commercial and military shipyards enable assets and processes to be easily transferred across the civil-military divide. Foreign firms have also provided China's defense contractors with key dual-use shipbuilding technology through joint ventures, licensing agreements, and direct purchases. These transfers have been essential to enabling the plan to overcome important technical hurdles in areas like marine propulsion. Since Xi Jinping's ascent to power in 2012, Beijing has accelerated efforts to transform China into a strong maritime power. Interestingly, although it ranks among the world's leading defense contractors, the CSSC generates a uniquely large share of its revenue from civilian production. For example, in 2023, only 23% of CSSC's revenue came from defense, well below the global average of 56% for major defense firms. Take, for example, American company Boeing, the world's leading commercial aircraft manufacturer, who depends on defense for over 40% of its revenue. China's emergence as a global shipbuilding powerhouse began with key policy changes that were initiated in the early 2000s. Recognizing the rapid growth of containerized maritime trade would be a boon for global shipbuilders, Beijing began developing ambitious plans to position Chinese firms at the forefront of the industry. In 2002, Xu Rongji, China's premier and chief economic architect at that time, visited the headquarters of CSSC, where he declared that China would seek to become the largest shipbuilding country by 2015. Since 2003, China has issued at least 25 national-level plans involving the shipping sector. And that is how the Chinese ship industry has become so big. For The Print, this is Snehesh Alex Philip. Do subscribe to The Print's YouTube channel for more such videos.